Following the breaking news out of Washington, appreciate it. I want to bring in Joe Pinion and get your reaction to all of this. First, to what Madison's talking about, the cash. That is very important for the down ballot races, not just the top of the ticket. And that seems to be one of the reasons that Pelosi and Schumer and others finally put the squeeze on Joe Biden and basically talked him into stepping down.
Look, I mean, Kamala Harris has raised $49 million in less than 24 hours.
55 now.
Since she's gotten out. So the cash is apparently rolling back in. The spigot has been turned back on. I think we all just need to take a step back and realize that we as a nation look absolutely crazy. Democrats are preparing now to have a nominee that is guaranteed to have had not a single vote cast in their name. They can try to clean it up. They can try to soften the ground. They can try to wrap the American flag around it and call it patriotism. It is craven politics at its worst. They did it solely because they knew Joe Biden could not win. And in the end, everything that has led to this moment was them trying to deny the undeniable, that he was never fit to lead this nation, that from the beginning of this presidency, he has been having scripts read to him. He has had answers fed to him. In the 11th hour, it came all apart.
Well, you know, look, the Wall Street Journal has a very deep dive into this. And this is one of the reporters in particular was one of the reporters that was so heavily criticized for pointing out the president's mental issues 2 months ago as cognitive problems. Now, though, they're reporting that this was going back to 2021, Joe. And they say how the bet on an 80-year-old Joe Biden turned into an epic miscalculation. But they write that this goes back to October of 2021, when Nancy Pelosi had to do cleanup because Democrats in the room were so concerned about what they saw. What kind of cover-up, Joe, are we talking about at this point? I mean, is this Ron Klain?
It is an astronomical cover-up, and the reality is it's at the fulcrum of all of our major institutions. It is U.S. intelligence. It is the Democratic Party. It is all the people on the Biden administration. Robert Hur told the entire world that he was unfit to stand trial, and yet somehow he was eviscerated by Congressman Schiff in an open congressional hearing, suggesting he had committed professional malpractice by even inserting that comment into the report. And that same Adam Schiff, as of 48 hours ago, was basically trying to do everything humanly possible to push Joe Biden out of the race for the exact same reasons that were delineated in that report. And so people have known he was unfit for the job. The DNC knew he was unfit for the job. People in that White House knew he was unfit for the job. And now the joke's on us because they're still trying to insist he is up to continue on the job while trying to nominate somebody else. The only reason he still sits in that chair is because they do not want Kamala Harris to be their nominee, and they're allowing the silent part to be said out loud through their actions.
Well, we'll see if Harris is the nominee. She actually, of course, the campaign name was changed within hours of that announcement. It's now the Harris campaign. The Federal Election Commission documents, those were filed yesterday afternoon. And, you know, the party is noticeably really divided over whether the members are going to back her. Former President Obama, as you mentioned, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, none of them have endorsed her yet. We shall see. But in the last 24 hours, we have 178 congressional Democrats and Democratic governors that have endorsed her bid. Now, former President Obama called for an open nominating process, which Nancy Pelosi previously has supported. Independent Senator Joe Manchin says he's considering re-registering as a Democrat to throw his hat in the ring. And then you've got this new PBS poll that shows former President Trump is still standing strong against Harris, Gavin Newsom, and Gretchen Whitmer. And then telling Jesse Waters in an exclusive interview, which will be airing more tonight, that he can beat all of them. Listen to this.
So they're going to cook up something at the convention. They might throw Gretchen Whitmer at you. They might throw Gavin Newsom at you. They might throw Michelle Obama at you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about any of them. Look, they have bad policies. Forget about the people. They have an open border policy. They have a high tax policy. They have a bad military policy. The whole world is going woke. Their world is going woke. The Green New Scam, we're spending all our money on things that don't work. The whole thing is a mess.
More names are being floated as potential Kamala Harris running mates. Political betting markets say the winning ticket is Kamala and Josh Shapiro. He is the governor of Pennsylvania. Chris, on the betting side of this is where the markets come into play, and questions about the Trump trade, which up until now has been strong.
It's been strong. I think it's getting stronger. I mean, the Harris-Shapiro ticket does nothing but enhance that Trump trade. I think people are underestimating the anger of the American people being lied to for all these months. It makes that trade even more so, and I think the markets are absolutely betting on Trump taking the White House.